Do you want to know how to shift into different parallel realities? This may come as a surprise, but you already know how to shift into different parallel realities. You might not realize you know how, but in this video I will explain, in fact, not only how you know how to shift already, I will also explain how once you realize that you know how to shift, you can do this consciously. And you can consciously choose which reality that you shift into. So come with me for the next few minutes on this journey into what parallel realities are and how shifting through parallel realities actually gives you the sensation of time passing, when time is actually an illusion. Each parallel reality is a complete universe in itself. Imagine life to be one big film strip, and the story of your life being the complete film. Now imagine the strip of film laying out in front of you. The frames in the film strip represent each moment in your life. Each frame within the film strip is equal to a moment in time. Each moment in time is equal to a different parallel reality that you have shifted into based on the choices you made in life. The future represents frames within the film strip that you have not yet chosen to experience. So those frames will be filled in as you make choices throughout your daily existence. The choices you make shift you from one frame to frame in the film strip. You are not the same person you were a moment ago. Just like you are not the same person you were in the first moments of your life, as you are now. Over time, you have had experiences that have changed who you are and how you perceive the world. You are now the future self to that past version of yourself. As moments of time pass and you make different choices, you are actually shifting through endless varieties of parallel realities. Shifting through all the different parallel realities is what gives you the sensation of time passing. This is why when you shift through only a few parallel realities, it feels like less time has passed. But as you shift through more and more parallel realities, it feels as though years are passing by. The passing of time is actually an illusion. Everything is always happening now. You are always in the now. It will always be right here, right now. And the choices you make take you down completely different paths into different parallel realities. Everything exists right now. At any given point in your life, you will always find yourself standing in the now. Each moment of your life is a different now that you experience. Right now, in this moment, you are experiencing a reality. The reality you are experiencing is not the only reality that exists. You know this because you have indeed already experienced many different realities that you have called your life. These different realities you can view as past, present, and future. There are an endless amount of possible realities for you to experience. Even though the changes might be so subtle that it is hard to see the difference in yourself now as opposed to you a moment ago or you 10 minutes ago, the changes have been made, no matter how slight or subtle they did occur. And the change that was made, even from you sitting or standing, whatever you have done in the last few minutes, has shifted you into a different timeline than the one you were previously on. If you chose to walk 2 steps to the right, that splits you off into a different parallel reality than you would have encountered if you had stepped 2 steps to the left. Every single decision and choice you make shifts you into a different parallel reality with different outcomes. The idea of time travel often connects to the idea that if you were to go back in time and make even small changes, it would completely change the reality as you know it. And that is because those changes you make, no matter how big or small, shift you into different parallel realities, which are completely different timelines of existence. The choices you make that cause the constant shifting through different parallel realities is what gives you the sensation of time passing. It is more obvious that you have shifted when many shifts have occurred in a sequence. For example, you can see a big difference in the reality you are experiencing now compared to the reality you experienced 10 years ago, because you have shifted through many different parallel realities in the various nows that have occurred over the past 10 years. It is easier to see that you are not the same person that was there 10 years ago than it is to see that you aren't the same person that was there a moment ago, because so many more experiences have occurred within all the different moments between the now you are currently in and the now that you were in 10 years ago. Reality can be viewed as a timeline of events. Parallel realities are multiple timelines all happening at once. With each timeline, each reality has a slight or big differences from one to the other. In one reality, you may have a welcome mat at your front door, and in a parallel reality to that one, there is no welcome mat. The differences can be slight, or there can be big differences. For example, in one parallel reality, you may have a child and spouse, and in another parallel reality, you may have no children and no spouse. The parallel realities that exist show all the versions of you and your life playing out in every choice, every option that is possible in all the variety of ways. Every time you make a choice, a split happens, and you are then opening the doorway to a new parallel reality. And all the options you did not choose have their own parallel reality, with versions of you living out every single possible expression of what you could be or could have been in life. All the different parallel realities are possible realities that you can experience. Many people say they want to learn how to shift into different parallel realities. The thing that a lot of people don't realize is you don't need to learn how to shift between parallel realities, because you are already constantly shifting through the endless array of parallel realities on a daily basis. You are so good at shifting from one parallel reality to the next that you don't even realize you are doing it. Shifting between the parallel realities is something you are so good at that it comes so natural that many people aren't even aware they are literally shifting from one parallel reality to another constantly. In fact, you cannot stop shifting because you cannot stop experiencing. Even if you sit in a completely empty room, you are still experiencing that empty room. Even though you can't stop shifting through the endless parallel realities, you can control which parallel reality you shift into. So how are you doing it? How are you shifting from one parallel reality to another and not even realizing that you're doing it? You are shifting through the different parallel realities that exist by making choices. Every choice you make in life leads to the new experience. And every new experience is actually you stepping into a new parallel reality. Every experience that you go through changes you into a new version of yourself. From moment to moment, your reality changes, and every change is a different parallel reality that you are shifting into. Every option that exists represents a different parallel reality. So for example, if you made your bed this morning, that will open the doorway for a specific parallel reality that is different from the parallel reality that you would be in if you did not make your bed. If you choose to call a friend, that will lead you down a different path into a different parallel reality than you would have been in if you had chosen not to call your friend. You are shifting into different parallel realities based on the choices you are making. What is causing you to make the choices you are making? Your thoughts and emotions are what determine the choices you make, and therefore they determine what reality you will step into next. How can you consciously determine which parallel reality you shift to next? The way you feel determines the reality you shift into. You can use your emotions as a guidance system to determine which parallel reality you want to shift into. Your thoughts and emotions determine the choices you make. In each moment, the way you are feeling affects the perception of what choices are available. If you are in a state of feeling good, you will make different choices than you would make if you were feeling bad. If you are in a good mood, it affects the choices you make. And being in a bad mood or a fearful mood affects the choices you make as well. How you feel determines the choices you make next. And since we know that each choice you make opens the doorway into a new parallel reality, you can now be aware of the thoughts you are thinking and intentionally get yourself into a good feeling state before making decisions. And thus you can consciously choose which reality you are stepping into. It is up to you. You can think thoughts that create a good feeling within you, or you can think thoughts that create and perpetuate a negative feeling within you. If you want to step into the next parallel reality that feels good, that matches what you desire, then your train of thought needs to match that feel-good parallel reality. If you are holding on to negative or fearful trains of thought, that will shift you into a parallel reality that matches that negative, fearful train of thought. Test it out for yourself. Get yourself into a good feeling state intentionally. Make choices from that state of being and see how different your reality becomes than if you were to be making your decisions from a state of not feeling good.